Hey everybody, welcome back to the Slasher Uprising channel, the home of the slasher movie. This is going to be episode number 58 of my slasher movie archives. In this video, I will be giving my review for The Prowler, also known as Rosemary's Killer, released in 1981. If you think you're safe, you're dead wrong. Okay, so getting into the plot for this one. Avalon Bay, June 28, 1945. On the night of her graduation dance, young Rosemary and her date are brutally murdered by a prowler thought to be a jilted soldier home from the war. The killer was never found. 30 years later, the dance is held again for the first time since that horrific evening. But something else may have also returned. Tonight, the teens of this sleepy town will meet their grisly ends at the hands and pitchfork, blade, and more of the Prowler. Okay, so getting into my thoughts for this one. With this movie taking place on June 28th in two different time periods, June 28th, 1945, and then 35 years later on June 28th, 1980, I couldn't think of any better time to talk about the Prowler than on June 28th, 2025. It's perfect timing. But there's another date that might be even more important pertaining to the movie storyline than June 28th, because on March 12, 1944, Rosemary writes a breakup letter to someone serving in the military.
I don't know how to tell you this. I really don't want to hurt you, but I just can't wait for you any longer.
We don't get a name, but it's obvious it doesn't set well with the recipient. It's this breakup letter that will set a revenge storyline into motion, because at the graduation dance on June 28, 1945, Rosemary and her new boyfriend Roy head out to the Point. I believe that's what Roy calls it. It's a place where young couples go to make out. So it's sort of like a lover's lane type deal. Rosemary and Roy are brutally murdered with a pitchfork by an unseen assailant. Avalon Bay will not hold another graduation dance for another 35 years until June 28, 1980. It's this part of the storyline that really reminds me of My Bloody Valentine, because the town is doing just fine until it puts on the dance. Now this might be moving a little into spoiler territory, but I'm going to be vague here. If you are paying close attention, I mean, you really have to have really good ears to pick up on this. During the dance in 1945, there's some important details that are given in passing. Now, I'm being vague here because I don't want to spoil anything, and I'm not really sure it's something you can pick up on without watching the movie through at least one time. It's not something that I picked up on the first time I watched this movie. All I'm really saying here is listen closely and pay attention. As the movie moves to 1980, the town prepares for the first graduation dance in 35 years. Decorations are being hung. There's even a cake. People are excited and getting all dressed up for the big dance. It seems like it's going to be a good time, but there's someone who's not too happy, and a revenge storyline starts to take shape. I really enjoy The Prowler. This is one that I didn't grow up with, so I don't have any childhood nostalgia for it. I didn't see this one until I was an adult, but it's a slasher movie that I enjoy more and more each time that I watch it. The Blue Underground Blu-ray features play movie, setup, scenes, and extras that includes Tom Savini's behind-the-scenes gore footage, the theatrical trailer. In the setups menu, there's an audio commentary with producer-director Joseph Zito and special makeup effects artist Tom Savini. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about the characters we have in The Prowler. In this one, we follow college senior Pam McDonald and her boyfriend Mark London, who just so happens to be the town's deputy. Mark seems to be a bit of a flirt based off his interactions with Pam's friends Lisa and Sherry. In spite of this, Mark's real interests lie in his girlfriend Pam. Pam, who along with her friends Lisa, Sherry, and her boyfriend Carl, have a lot of excitement for the big dance. It's the first one in 35 years after all. But when Pam accompanies Mark to the police station, she has a conversation with Sheriff George Fraser about the dance. That conversation goes something along the lines of this. The sheriff suggests that if Major Chatham had any say-so, there would still be no dance. Major Chatham is the father of Frances Rosemary Chatham, who was murdered in 1945 during the dance. So Major Chatham was the reason for the town not having a dance for all those years, and I feel like that's pretty understandable. Pam does sympathize for Major Chatham for the tragic loss of his daughter all those years ago. The sheriff goes on to tell Pam and Mark about getting a call from the state police. Somebody had robbed a market and cut some kid up and took his car. They think he could be headed their way. The conversation concludes with us finding out that the sheriff is heading out of town for a fishing trip, and he assures Mark that he can handle anything that comes their way. This raises some major concern for Pam about Mark's safety being left in charge. Mark assures Pam that the state police will handle it. This part of the story sets Pam's character up with concern and suspicion based off the tragic events of the past. Pam starts to worry that the killings might start happening again. Overall, I really enjoyed these characters, especially Pam. She is pretty much everything you could possibly ask for in a final girl. She's smart, she has a good sense of humor, she has charisma, and she is sensitive about the town's tragic history surrounding the dance. I thought the acting was spot on and everything you could ask for in an 80s slasher movie. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about the most important part of a slasher movie, that is the killer and the kills. One of the things that I personally find to be fun and entertaining about slasher movies is having a unique killer. Not only from a visual standpoint is the killer scary or creepy looking, but also from a storytelling perspective. How does the killer fit into the story? Does it make sense? Is there a good reason or a understandable reason to commit these gruesome acts of violence? I think the Prowler nails all of this. It's a revenge story. In 1945, Rosemary, along with her date, are murdered during the graduation dance. We know that Rosemary sent a breakup letter the previous year to someone who was serving in World War II. So the Prowler, who by the way is dressed up in a World War II soldier uniform with the face covered, gets his revenge. For the next 35 years the town has been at peace, until for the first time in 35 years there's another graduation dance for the class of 1980, and because of that the killings start up again. You probably guessed it, a killer wearing a World War II uniform with the face covered. They never found out who the original killer was, so is the killer a World War II veteran or somebody else completely? I absolutely love the look of the killer in the Prowler. The soldier's uniform with the face covered really stands out. It's very memorable. The killer in the Prowler is one of the true great classic slasher villains, in my opinion. I also wanted to mention that after the Prowler murders a victim, our villain leaves behind a rose. That's a nice touch. The movie score features a slow, eerie, ominous sound that raises in intensity during the stalk sequences or when the kills happen. It's not really all that memorable, but in the moment while you watch the movie, it gets the job done. As far as the kills go, the movie has a pretty generous body count with around 8 or 9 kills. The Prowler's favorite weapons to use is a bayonet and a pitchfork, two excellent choices that lead to some absolutely brutal kills with the special effects done by Tom Savini. He did some of his best work here. We get two people getting run through with a pitchfork together. My personal favorite is the bayonet through the top of the head. Who could ever forget the look on the victim's face? Another great kill is the shower pitchfork kill. That's just to name a few. There's a lot of gruesome stuff here. The kills are a lot of fun, even though they are very violent and painful to look at. And because of the violence and the gore and some nudity, the Prowler was a part of the Video Nasty Section 3 list and was not prosecuted. Overall, I have to say I'm a big fan of the Prowler, and for a lot of reasons. I like the revenge storyline. We have a very solid final girl, but to me the part that makes it so much fun is the gruesome kills, and the Prowler wearing that World War II uniform with the face covered. It's just a very effective look for a slasher villain. I highly recommend The Prowler. It's a fantastic slasher movie from the golden era of slasher movies. IMDb give The Prowler a 5.9 out of 10. I'm going to give it a 8 out of 10. Remember, evil never dies. It rests a while. It watches, it waits. If you like the video, give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the Slasher Uprising channel, the home of the slasher movie. Tune in each and every Saturday night as evil takes back the night. Be sure to comment below and let me know if you have seen The Prowler, or just let me know what you think of the video. And as always, I would like to thank you all for watching.